So much of New York City's planning and organization is still done in a way that's not accessible to people without a fairly specialized education or vocabulary.
There's huge sections of the city that could probably just be higher in terms of building height, just because you'd get greater density, you'd have more people located near transit hubs.
We'll lose the culture, we'll lose the artists, we'll lose the middle class if we can't figure out a way for everyone to live here.
The challenge with doing that ultimately is the risk of displacement of the poor. There is very few developers who would want to put up a very tall building that wouldn't yield, the maximum profits. And so ultimately the tension between the two things is growth that's equitable, growth that doesn't just displace people and move them out to places that are less and less convenient.
We cannot keep tearing down our small businesses or low-rise commercial to build condominiums, because low-rise commercial is something that was destroyed over the last 20 years, and that's one reason we have such a poor economic base. There's no manufacturing left.
I would say thinking about integrating ideas of kind of city literacy into our public school curriculum so that our young people grow up being kind of empowered and enabled to make the city do what they want to do as they grow and get older.
Making the schools better, because I think education is a very important thing, that if you don't have good education, the family's not going to stay here. That's why a lot of families move to suburbs and other places. So I think that's primary is education.
I think one of the things we need to do in New York to become more livable is we need to be doing our stormwater management differently. In many cities around the country, they're using porous pavement and porous pavers so that the water actually is absorbed into the ground, and so they don't get the kind of flooding.
So although the public transportation is amazing in that it just expands the whole city, you have DC where it's like, oh, it doesn't go as far, but it's so nice and it smells good and there's carpet and it's just like, I want to sit on this seat. But in New York, sometimes you don't want to sit on that seat and it stinks and I can't see what time the train is coming, and sometimes the train is broken and it makes noise and it jerks because it's just a little old. It's good, but it's old.
To think more in terms of the aging popularity. As you can see, I'm an aging person, and while I have rattled off the ease of transportation, that's not necessarily the case for all people who are aging. Where are the elevators? Where are the escalators? How easy is it to get into and out of the subway? Those kinds of things. Also, what is it that would make our neighborhoods even more livable? Because for many people who are aging, there are not necessarily places or access to public facilities, public toilets. Those kinds of things are important to you as you age.
I wish there were more bike lanes, honestly, and I wish there was a greater respect for bikers, and I wish that the streets were more of a place for pedestrians and for bikers than for cars, because honestly, if the outer boroughs were more pedestrian friendly or biker friendly, I think it'd really be a great place, a better place than it is.
We don't want to become a museum, we want to remain vibrant forever.
I think that great cities don't arise on their own, and so I'm curious to know what we can do as citizens, as planners, as thinkers about cities to create great cities and to perpetuate great cities into the future.